Hello children, welcome back to the classes of short stories. In last class, we had learnt one part of the story, An Angel in Disguise, where I took you to one hovel, right? You remember? A miserable house where just death has stepped in to take away the life of a lady who had 3 children. Fine? John, Kate and Maggie. I think you remember. And that Maggie was bedridden child. John was a grown-up child, a little, who can make his own living. And Kate was a bright and smart child. And these 2 children, John and Kate, were taken away by Farmer John's and Mrs. Ellis. Now the turn was of Maggie and that lady who died on her own threshold in a drunken fit was carried away by the people who gathered there for graveyard, and public who all gathered over there did not follow the pauper grave because it was not a respectful dead body that they will follow that coffin. No, they all stayed back. One by one they started moving, and ladies also started leaving one by one. And there was a man I introduced you whose name was Joe Thompson, who was quite very rough to look at, and he was a wheelwright. See, wheelwright means who makes wheels. He was even coming to make wheels for children also. He was repairing their carts without taking any money. I told you the meaning of that last word of that last class, Harrowed sixpences. Harrowed sixpences means the amount which is saved for their chocolates or biscuits. That money he was never taking because they are asking to repair their playing toys. Children, Joe Thompson was rough to look at, but he had a very beautiful heart. Let us see what will happen with this Maggie in this class. Everyone who gathered there, nobody wanted to take this child because nothing can be done with this girl. She was always in need of help. So people who gathered there suggested to send her to poor house where helpless children without parents sometimes, and also children without help are sent there where food, clothes and some needed children are provided with doctor's care. So people who gathered there felt that that will be the best place or better place from the place where she is living in now. So they decided and also asked Joe Thompson to put her in poor house. Even Joe Thompson requested to take one soft heart to that blacksmith's wife, but she walked away. Now let me continue the story here. Let me read out for you. No dear, he answered. See, when he entered there, let me read out the previous line where she cried out, catching her suspended breath, "Don't leave me here all alone, oh Mr. Thompson. Oh Mr. Thompson, don't leave me all alone here in this hovel where I don't have any help." So for her words, Joe Thompson replied, "No dear," he answered in a kind voice, going to the bed and stooping down over the child. "You shall not be left here all alone." Then he wrapped her with the gentleness almost of a woman in the clean bedclothes which some neighbor had bought, and lifting her in his strong arms, bore her out into the air and across the field that lay between the hovel and his home. He gathered that girl in his arms with one mother heart. You can just notice that sentence. It is neatly mentioned that with what love, with what kindness, with what careful nature he had inside his heart towards this girl, that he never wanted to leave this girl all alone. He got pity in his heart, and his heart was filled with mercy for this lonely girl who was left alone without any help. He just wrapped that little girl in a clean bedsheet which was also bought from that neighborhood, and now he took that little child very smoothly, lifting her in his strong arms, bore her out into the air and across the field that lay the hovel and his home. See, almost of a woman, gentleness almost of a woman. This is most important line in this. He took that girl with all gentleness and started walking towards his home, which went across the field. Now, Joe Thompson's wife, who happened to be childless, was not a woman of saintly temper, nor much given to self-denial for others' good, and Joe had well-grounded doubts touching the manner of greeting he should receive on his arrival. Children, here let me introduce you Joe Thompson's wife, whose name is Jane, Jane. She was not at all of a good nature. She was of vinegar temper, means short temper, and also she spoke very bitter words, and she did not do any genial justice means here. She did not do any Daniel justice means here. She was never going good with her neighbors or the people who were approaching. Okay, she was very short tempered. She was very fighting lady. Joe Thompson was aware that what kind of warm welcome means very bad welcome he will receive. Let us see what will happen. Mrs. Thompson saw him approaching from the window and with ruffling feathers met him a few paces from the door. As he opened the garden gate and came in, he bore a precious burden, and he felt it to be so. As his arms held the sick child to his breast, a spear of tenderness went out from her and penetrated his feelings. A bond had already corroded itself around them both, and love was springing into life. Children, you can see here that little child was in arms of Angel. Angel in the form of Joe Thompson. This girl was quite very comfortable in his arms because while walking from the hovel to his house, he never hold that girl very tightly or that bitter feeling that this girl is helpless. No, nothing. But now he was afraid of his wife. He knew that what kind of welcome he would get. But meanwhile, he noticed that this little child is quite very comfortable in his arms. Though they were strong, very tenderly he was handling that child. And one sentence very important here, he bore a precious burden. Hold on, children. Precious burden. Burden itself is burden. It is never precious. But if it is, this burden is added with one adjective, precious, then what it means? This is the whole theme of the lesson. Okay. This precious burden, let us see how this burden turns to a precious burden. Okay. And another point to remember in these lines that Joe Thompson and Jane Thompson did not have any of their own children. Okay. They were childless, or a little better way to tell, they were issueless. They did not have their own child. This picture is speaking quite very clearly that Joe Thompson was one angel for that little helpless girl, and he carried with lots of love, with mother's love, with womanly nature, without hurting a bit also. And that girl, little Maggie, was quite very comfortable in his arms because he handled very delicately. Now, I am showing you the slide where Jane Thompson or Mrs. Thompson coming with all rush to check that what kind of burden he had carried. Why at all he is bringing this girl inside? What made this fellow to think that this family could handle this helpless bedridden child? You can see the expressions of Jane Thompson and facial expressions of Joe Thompson's Doe cartoon. You can understand the way. What have you there? Sharply questioned Mrs. Thompson. She questioned very sharply. What you have in your hand? Joe felt the child start and shrink against him. See, the moment the little girl heard the sharp voice means rude voice, the girl started shrinking. Shrinking means with fear, she caught the hands of Joe Thompson. He did not reply, except by a look that was pleading and cautionary, that said, wait a moment for explanation and be gentle. And passing in, carried Maggie to the small chamber on the first floor and laid her on bed. Then, stepping back, he shut the door and stood face to face with his vinegar-tempered wife in the passageway outside. What did he do? He stopped. He stopped there with one expression telling his wife that, don't shout. Let me explain you. Give me a little time. In silence, his face was speaking. Without speaking a word, he walked inside the home and climbed some stairs, placed that little child on bed, came outside and closed the door and sat face to this vinegar-tempered Vinegar sore-tempered, very rude-tempered lady. You haven't brought home that sick brat? Anger and astonishment were in the tones of Mrs. Joe Thompson. Her face was in a flame. She questioned, "Why at all you brought the sick brat? What will we do with this girl? She is a sick child, helpless child." And her face was red. Red in a flame means she was very angry. "I think women's hearts are sometimes very hard," said Joe. Usually, Joe Thompson got out of his wife's way or kept rigidly silent and non-combative when she fired up on any subject. It was with some surprise, therefore, that she now encountered a firmly set countenance and a resolute pair of eyes. Women's hearts are not half so hard as men's. Joe saw by a quick intuition that his resolute bearing had impressed his wife, and he answered quickly, and with real indignation, "Be that as it may." Every woman at the funeral turned her eyes steadily from the sick child's face, and when the cart went off with her dead mother, hurried away and left her alone in that old hut, with the sun not an hour in the sky.